Kenny now is kind of entrenched in his job, which is this iris biometrics. And for him, he's using this as a complete monetary income thing for him. I mean, it's a big find. It's this thing that's going to make a ton of money for him and his company. And he comes in helping as a friend, expecting one thing, but then realizing that everything that he thought, all the research, all the technology that's been built around this theory is kind of bunk because they found multiple iterations of the same iris patterns, which goes against everything that the whole theory is based on. So how he helps Ian and Karen kind of break through the database and find multiple repeats of the same iris biometrics. And in lieu of that, he is also himself put in a weird position because he now doesn't have a job. I think, you know, for the eye, you know, beyond even just the saying, it is kind of the one thing that we have that we always can look into, can look out from. It is our window, and how appropriate that iris biometrics actually does exist, and that it is a thing that you can encrypt because it's a specific pattern unique to each person. But then it kind of flips it on its head with this, because what if it does repeat? What if our souls do recycle themselves, and we have this long history that we're unable to explain when we maybe have run-ins with people that we don't know and we feel like we're familiar with them, or just this feeling of togetherness and kind of empathy that we have too. And maybe it's just a collective thing that we're unaware of because we're either rebooted or we're just ignoring it, you know. That's what I love about this film, is it touches upon all these different things. So it was a particularly interesting situation because it was my hiatus from the show that I'm doing, which takes up majority of the year. And for me, I was just kind of looking to get into anything that I could that would be a little different from what I was working on. And I remember my agent said, there's this small indie film that's, you know, created by Mike Cahill. And I was like, oh, yeah, what is it? Because I loved Another Earth. And he's like, Britt Marling's in it, and Michael Pitt's in it. Holy crap, let me read for this, please. And I read for it, and the turnaround was so quick. I think I submitted my tape, and then they called me back the next day and said, you got to fly to New York the day after. So I just did it, rented an apartment, and we just got to shooting. And what I loved about the whole experience was it was so bare bones and so, it was so collaborative. You know, he allowed everybody to have their own voice in this thing, and he kind of steered that ship as all these different voices kind of chimed in. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a really great experience. I think it gives a naturalistic flow to it all, and I think that is also why the tone of Mike Cahill's movies are so great, because you're taking a very science-oriented, sci-fi, potentially sci-fi genre type of story, and you're grounding it so hard into the real world that the sci-fi-ness of it all kind of fades to the back. Like, even in Another Earth, the fact that another Earth appeared in the sky, like, it wasn't something like, oh great, aliens are gonna come. It was just like, now how does life move on? And that's what I love about that tone, and I think that's how he captures that.